I hesitate just because, of course, that we've talked about yesterday about the used car prices still going down. Um, but it seems like they're taking other avenues. So I don't know for sure, but I don't think they'd be the massive. They're just gonna be some small amounts. We saw the Model 3 obviously go in the other direction for the long range, but that may just be because there's limited production right now. Um, it, you would think with Model Y, right, with the point of sale, this was the whole talk of 2024 point of sale rebate coming into effect. Now it's priced that way on their website. You would think that, I mean, that would be enough boon to stave off any more considerable price cuts. So I'm going to go with no more than like $1,000 cuts.
AJ, do you expect more price cuts? Oh, sorry, I forgot you were at the gym. Omar,
Yeah,
do you expect more?
sorry.
I do think we're getting to the end of it. They made some comments on the earnings call to this effect. They're kind of going up against COGS a little bit, right? Like they can't cut this thing 20%. So a lot of people talk about residual values and stuff like that. If you're buying a Model Y today for $40,000, you don't have to worry about them cutting the price, $8,000 or so. That, they can't obviously go below their COGS. They want to be profitable on the vehicle. So certainly we're going to see I think, amount of the price cuts slowing. They have done a few recently, but they seem to be really targeted at making sure that the consumer qualifies for incentives. So, like a $3,000 price cut to make sure that they can get a $5,000 incentive or something like that. So, the consumer is really getting $8,000 of affordability for $3,000 or whatever. But I think we're not really going to see a repeat of 2023. I think the lack of guidance allows them to sort of slow down a little bit on that. And I think the new vehicles that they have, the new Model 3, the Cybertruck, and the new Model Y, once it's unveiled and starts shipping, are going to give them some pricing power that they didn't have. You can already see with the new Model 3, there's less incentives. They don't qualify for the what do you call it, the referral program. They don't qualify for FSD transfer and things like that. So basically, they're giving actually, they're not giving any inventory discounts on the Model 3. And you can kind of see what the impact of that is. The Cybertruck obviously is a $100,000 vehicle. They have a lot of pricing power there. They could say, hey, it's $80,000, and $80,000 is going to seem like an amazing deal to somebody because they've developed a price anchor of $100,000. So overall, I see it stabilizing. I see not giving guidance as sort of giving them the flexibility to manage more to stability than growth. Because this doesn't need to be a crazy growth year, okay? We can squeeze, you know, 20% out of the Model 3 and Y. That's great. These are already the two best-selling models in the world. If you can sell a little bit more, that's great. That's not the long-term growth driver. It's really going to be the next gen platform. So I expect it to be a much more stable year and not really a repeat of 2023, but we'll see what happens.
I expect COGS to come down quite a bit in Q1. Not as much as in Q3, but still some reduction that would open up opportunity to further slightly reduce prices. And what's interesting now is that you have some kind of convexity in the demand curve. So that the lower you go in prices, every incremental $1,000 less actually opens up disproportionately more demand. For example, if I'm just making up numbers, at let's say average selling price 40K, you have 2 million units. At $1,000 less, you have 2.1, but at $2,000 less, you have 2.4 million units. So there's convexity in the curve, and so this could be interesting in terms of demand this year.
Yeah, the TAM has expanded like 3x. And we've talked about like the delayed elasticity combined with these new models and everything else, combined with interest rates coming down. It could be very positive potentially.
Hey, thanks for having me up, Yaman. Hey, two quick questions. One is I was real excited to trade in the Model S because I'm getting a Cybertruck and to get the FSD transfer and the supercharger transfer, blah, blah, blah. And then I looked and the $7,500 tax credit wasn't available for the Model S. or it didn't seem like it was. So this is kind of pointed towards Sawyer or anybody else. Is that true that the Model S doesn't qualify for the 7,500? And if so, why? And then I've got a quick follow-up.
Yeah, that's correct. The Inflation Reduction Act law says that sedans can only qualify for the tax credit if they're less than $55,000. So the Model S is too expensive for that. Bizarrely, the limit for SUVs is $80,000. So the base Model X does qualify. And of course, all the Model Y models qualify as well for the point of sale credit. They'll give you 7,500 right off the top. We just took advantage of it for a Model Y, and it's a pretty smooth experience. You just don't see that 7,500 ever. They just take it right off the bill.
Cool. Thanks, Omar. And then second question is, this is to the other Wes. Hey, Wes, did you say a moment ago that the Mach-E and the Bolt are being discontinued? Did I hear that right?
The Mach-E is still being built. The Bolt isn't. They discontinued that. They stopped building it. The EUV as well. And the Mach-E is just having less production. They don't qualify for the 7,500, so they're just building a lot less.
Got it. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Ford EV sales were actually down 10% year over year, which I found kind of interesting.
Hey, Wes6, I know that